We're having a thunderstorm. See if anybody comes back. I have to delete that other stream. Yeah, we're having a thunder and lightning storm just like cropped up and whacked my internet connection. So I don't know if I go out again, that's it, and I'll be gone. Right. I was talking about, the sadness of the loss of John Prine, and I thought they had said that he was okay and they had sent him home, and he was out of intensive care and they sent him home, but they don't always tell you everything, and it might have been one of those situations where they knew he was in bad shape. Hey, how you doing? I love America. They knew he was in bad shape, and they didn't want him to. Yeah, he passed today. I've seen it from two news sources that were actually like news, not just somebody posting it on the internet. So I one of them I think was the Washington Post. So I want to say that yeah, it's real. Sometimes when they're in that situation, they don't want you to die in the hospital and they send you home to be with your family. But with this coronavirus, they want to keep you. Yeah, he was in rough shape. And even before that, because he had cancer and they'd taken like part of his face and mouth away and stuff. But with the infectious nature of this stuff, they want to keep you. Arthur Brown, how you doing? They want to keep it isolated, so I don't know. But it's sad. Like I said, I hope he's floating up the Green River. Let his soul float up the Green River to Rochester Dam, and he'll be 5 miles away from wherever I am, paradise waiting. I hope he made it. I hope he made it to paradise. I certainly do. We were talking about who's still working. All our work is canceled. It's all canceled, and they keep talking about it. Hi, Janice. I want to talk to you anyway, Janice. Did you get your Epiphone straightened out to where you liking it? Are you liking it? Not liking it? You haven't really given me a yay or nay on that. You just said that the low E string sounded dead. And I told you to change strings. How's that Epiphone? What do you think of it, Janice? I did lower the piece that the strings are on. Yeah, the tail piece, the wraparound bridge, which is right here. You lowered that down. She got the faded cherry one, the faded red one. But what do you think of the guitar overall, Janice? I don't know where you bought it. Play just the lower E string. I don't know where you bought it. I'm guessing you got it from Musician's Friend, but if you don't like the guitar, you can send it back. Hey, Weedy, Musician's Friend, if you don't like it, you can ship it back. But, for $130, well, I paid like 123 or 124. Are we looping again? Okay, we're working, I think. But you know, play the guitar for a while, play it through all your amps and stuff, and see if you can make it work for you. If you can't, before that time is up, send it back. Okay, well, it's got a folky sound, very full. That depends on what you're playing through. They are P90s, they're not thin, right? I Love America. They're not going to be, the P90 is not going to be anything like a Strat pickup. I'll just for giggles. I was messing around because I was watching Johnny Bean with his. And I had this sound going. Yeah, it's probably real over the top. You're buffering. Well, I'm not buffering. Metal Rocker, how you doing? Coming through this USB mic, that's probably really over the top right there, but it is over the top anyway. That's that sound with all that echo and yeah, and the distortion. I was watching Johnny Bean messing around with his music, man, his 1990 something, and I said, I got that beat, man. I got this early 80s, 83, 84 PV Falcon with the Kahler bridge, and I've got it floated like that, so it goes, both ways, and it's got the lock 'em nut. It's got the lock 'em nut on there, so you can lock them down tight. And once you get this thing in tune, you can beat on it all night. The only way it'll go out of tune is if you actually really stretch a string or something slips. But it'll pretty much it'll stay right in tune. Yeah, Janice, sometimes all you got to do is refresh. But I was gonna set everything up and play, with me and Linda. And during the president's press conference, I fell asleep. When I woke up, she was already back there playing her guitar on her own. I said, well, wait, we're not going anywhere, so we got plenty of time. It's only the 7th of the month, so got plenty of time. We will get that together. I was working on her, helping her out with some bass lines the other day, and I probably need to go over them with her some more before she forgets them, before she stops playing them. But I'd like to get Linda into talk, but she has to write it. So, right. Of course, she could always be on her tablet and type in the chat. She could do that. But who remembers RC Cola? It seemed that it like went away for a while. For a long time, it went away and you didn't see it. What was the other cola? Shasta Cola. You used to be able to go into a Dairy Mart and get a can of Shasta Cola for like 23 cents. It wasn't even a quarter. Yeah, Daniel, you got that right. Then there's a guy. There's the tall bottle. Yeah. There's a guy that's a jazz player that's like a one of the top-notch jazz playing guitar players. He's from Philadelphia. His name's Jimmy Bruno. He started doing YouTube and Facebook Live just recently. And they have a PayPal thing where you can click and you can donate to PayPal. I don't even know if he has super chat turned on because he doesn't want like YouTube to get any of the money. Then super chat, YouTube takes part of the money. He said in his last video that he likes playing on Facebook Live and YouTube so much that he another club again. And this is a guy that has a jazz trio and plays with different people. And like, he'll have to get on a plane and fly to Chicago, or he'll have to go up to New York from Philadelphia to New York City, or he's got to go to Baltimore, or he has to go to all these places. And he goes, I don't have to do that anymore. And that they had made enough money in their first couple streams to convince him to not go out and play. Now the guy is older. He's older and he's got some health problems and stuff. We're having a thunderstorm right now. I saw the supermoon last night, but you can't see it tonight. It's all covered. I can't see it tonight. But and then he said they had some guy. Jimmy Bruno. It's just JIMMYBRUNO. He's on YouTube. He's on YouTube, Bruce. You can find him. Guy, he's a crotchety old guy. He's funnier than hell, and he says exactly what he means, and like he was doing today, lead voicings or whatever in jazz chords. And he goes, okay, there's this way, and then there's the jerk off way where you go way up the neck. He goes, don't do that. Don't be a jerk off. You play it down here. If you're playing here, you play voice down here. Guy's hilarious. But yeah, he was big time. He was big time. And he said that they had some guy ask if, hi, Sally, I bet you're locked down. They had some guy say, can I stream this on my Facebook or my YouTube or whatever? And Jimmy Bruno says, yeah, sure, why not? The guy did it and put a button to his PayPal and was making money off of it. And Jimmy Bruno goes, I had to call a lawyer. He goes, I had to get a lawyer to get the guy to take it down. He goes, I messaged the guy, emailed the guy. I said, hey, you need to take that down. You got to take that down. The guy goes, I don't have to do shit. I don't have to do nothing. He goes, okay, well, we'll see about that. He goes, I got a damn lawyer. So he either made enough money off doing it. And I listened to one of them for about a half an hour. And the stream quality was so bad that even though I was enjoying listening to him play, the stream quality was so bad that I just couldn't hang with it. And I thought, I wonder how this is going to work out. Well, apparently, according to him, he's not going to ever go play live again. He says he may never go play again and haul on an airplane and all that. He's just going to do it online. And I've been talking to my drummer, and he wants to do it. We want to do it. But we don't want to get together as a group because we don't want to break any laws. And we want to make sure that, we're out of the woods, that nobody does have it, because if we don't have it, we certainly don't want to give it to each other, and we don't want to catch it. So Metal Rocker, advice on stage fright. Don't think about it. Just don't think about it. You're there. I'm going to tell you what. Here's the way I look at that. Is this a serious question? Are you really serious about stage fright? Because it doesn't matter. There's always, or whatever. There always going to be those people. On the other side, man, there's always going to be people that are going right on. Because they get it. They know you're just up there trying to make music. And so your job is to play your music and perform it to the best of your ability and be entertaining. And if you have practiced your songs and you've got them down pretty good and you're able to get through them and perform them well, you have nothing to be afraid of. You literally have nothing to be afraid of at all. And when I finally get this old DVD from 1986 digitally digitized and put up on YouTube, you guys are going to see the difference between as compared to now, where I'm old and can't move around and have to stand in one place. And I know more. I'm a better guitar player, but I don't have the energy that I had back then. Back then, it was they were simple songs, but we knew them well. We were tight and we put them over. There was I would say the best guitar player in that band was the bass player. He played the bass better than any of the guitar players played the guitar. And there were me and another guy, John, playing guitar, and the keyboard player also played guitar. And the keyboard player was better at sax than he was keyboards. Okay. And then we had a fantastic drummer who was my neighbor who brought me cookies tonight. John, his girlfriend, brought down cookies, and they put them on our patio table and then called on the phone and go, "Hey, we left something." Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just make sure that you're not going up there unprepared. Make sure you know your songs, you know your parts. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to be over the top. Just do the best you can, and there's no reason to be afraid. You're always going to have a critic. There's always going to be a critic. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like what you're doing. And I mean, I run into it all the time. There are people that just don't like anything that we do, And what really bugs you is when it's your friends, They'll come over to your house and they want to, barbecue and hang out and talk and, work on lawnmowers and cars and this and that. And the minute you pick up a guitar, they're like out the door. I gotta go. They never come to your gigs. And it's like, but it is what it is. That's just the way it is. You can't please everybody. DKG, I should be asleep. Why? You got to get up for something? It ain't even that late, brother. Well, it is, but it could be later. This could end any time. We're having a lightning storm, and I already lost my stream once and had to restart it. So, but Metal Rocker, I'm going to go check out your channel right now. See that if I had subscribed and see what you're doing. Okay, two subs. No, put some stuff up. Put up some music. Even if it's just you playing the guitar. I ain't got no Rona. Ain't no Rona here, buddy. You're still working, huh? DKG? You should post something. It doesn't matter anyway. Put up a 30-second clip, record it off your phone. Just crank it up, man. To get the right channel on. You're on the right channel. This is the right channel. Right here is right now is the right channel, buddy. But, YouTube could be where some of us are performing for a long time. Because I'll tell you what, when the bars open, Star Child, that I think I remember that. I can't say for sure, but it does sound familiar. But with all the bars and the restaurants closed, they're all hurting. Some of them are already done. They won't come back. Kush Steve, how you doing? Oh, you zombies. I don't know. I've never heard that. Oh, your own signing. You got your own wrench now. Okay. You're the only one that's got one besides my Hush Band channel. I took the wrench away from everybody. But what the hell was I talking about? Okay. When there are bars already that have in this area that have already called it. They said, we're done. That's it. We're gone. We're out. The place is either for sale or it's going to sit. Whatever's going to happen, they're not going to open back up. The ones that do open back up, the longer this goes, the harder it's going to be. The season officially starts at Geneva on the Lake, where they can serve hard liquor if they've got a seasonal license, is Mother's Day. Okay? So Mother's Day is when the season kicks off, and that's usually a huge weekend down there. If the bars are still shut, they're going to miss that. And if it goes past that into June, into July, some of these will not recover. When they do open back up, they're not going to have any money to play with to be able to pay bands. Because for one thing, who knows if anybody's going to show up? Okay? People have canceled their vacations. They've asked the campgrounds. The governor shut down all the campgrounds. So there's two major campgrounds down there. One run by the state park or down by the state park, and another private one that's a huge one. They're shut down. These people are asking for their refunds. They want their lot fee back because they're not willing to pay for a partial year or only get a partial year, and they just want to pull this shit out and take it home and do whatever. Okay? Or they're not going to show up like they normally would when it's time, so they want their money back. So that's really going to hurt them. And so who knows, And like the private clubs, the VFWs, the animal clubs, stuff like that, they might have it a little easier. I don't know, because they take membership dues, and they might just tell everybody, all right, you don't have to pay this month because we're closed, so shut the thing down. They'll open back up just like they shut down for the night. Oh my God. Thanks, man. Not Corona. Yeah, if you can get it. I don't even like to go out, but the animal clubs, they can like shut down for a month, whatever, and it's like turn the lights off. They might have to run the coolers. Who knows? Don't run the coolers. Let the beer get warm. It won't spoil, I don't think, if it's in a dark cooler. And when the time comes, you come in, you fire the place up for a couple days, let everything run, and open the doors back up, and it's like, you just close for the night. But I'm guessing it could be that way for those clubs because they're private membership. But, the bars and the restaurants, man, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine that I used to play for all the time. All right, Sally, thanks for stopping in, man. Stay safe. Play them drums, listen to Queen, and don't get no Rona. He owns one restaurant and his partners in two others. And he is a nervous cat, man. He is a nervous dude right now. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all for being nervous because nobody knows what's going to happen. And the longer this goes, the worse it's going to be for these people to come back. A lot of restaurants have stayed open and are doing delivery. And you got to give them credit because they're trying. And they're all over Facebook. They're all over Twitter and Instagram. And it's almost getting annoying because you like log on to Facebook and you got all these, it's like just a food menu, but hey, you can't blame them. They got to do what they got to do. They got to do whatever they can do to survive. So, kudos to them for staying over. But I know a lot of other restaurants, they went ahead. I know one, Janice's could be the new way of things. Things are going to change. They're going to change after this. I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal. But he took the food from his restaurant, 2 dining floors, okay? 2 working dining floors. He divided up all the food that was in the coolers and in the restaurant. He portioned it all out to all his employees and said, here, we can't sell it. I can't let it rot. Just take it home and eat it, feed it to your families. Because, this restaurant, everything is, Gordon Ramsay would be proud. Everything is turnaround fresh made. There's nothing, if they don't have like a month's worth of anything stockpiled, they work on a short turnover because they sell so much and they get so busy that they sell out. Like you'd go there for Friday night for the brisket sandwich, or the brisket dinner on a Friday or Saturday. If you don't get there early enough, you get there at 9:00, they could be sold out. And they would start serving it at 7, and they'd be sold out. So it's not the kind of restaurant where there's nothing frozen, whatever. He gave the food away. He gave it to his employees and said, take this home and give it to your families. What's he going to do? And he's nervous. It might be a few years. It might be longer. It might be never. There might be some new precedents set, some new rules. I don't know what they could be. There could be things like mandatory vaccination. The coronavirus could be like smallpox was and measles in America, where it's a required vaccination that you have to get it. Your kids have to have a corona shot or they can't go to school. And this whole situation sucks. You're right, Tim, it does. And I'm 61 years old. I got spine problems, Music was my main income. And what's next? You start selling stuff. You pick the 1 or 2 guitars you're going to keep. Guess what? I'm going to keep this in my Strat. And anything that's any kind of vintage that I might be able to get some money out. But who's buying? You should see all the gear pages, all the gear, Musicians Friends, Sweetwater, Zounds, American Music Supply. They're calling us on loan. They're sending us emails like crazy. It's an email blitz. There are these big, huge sales. They're trying to sell this stuff. Nobody's buying gear because nobody's playing gigs. No, I haven't had a spine for years. I tell you what. You remember my old videos? Yeah. And my new ones are even more spineless. That's what I was saying when I finally get this tape digitized. When the guy that's going to do it comes out of he's not a germaphobe. He's just a real careful guy, and he's not. I'm not touching it right now. He goes, when this whole thing's over, Ed, we'll get it done. He goes, but not now. But you guys will see the difference between the way I used to perform when I was 28 years old and when I was 58. Or 61. And, I was quite the performer back then, the jumper arounder and I was fit. Let's put it that way. But this could be the new way. But now you go on Facebook, and I subscribe to a page called Cover Band Central. Everybody and their brother, and all my friends that are local musicians, ton of them. I have a lot of musicians friends, okay? As a matter of fact, almost all my friends are musicians. They're all live all the time on Facebook. And it's like, you can't watch it all. I know you are, Janice, and you've noticed it. There's just band after band after band after band going live, and it's just live. And I mean, some of this stuff's really, really good. And then after you get to the 15th guy doing Folsom Prison, that's it, that's it. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to watch. Yeah, Cover Band Central on Facebook is a pretty cool group. It's pretty awesome. It's awesome, man. But, this could be, no, they're not. The problem is, now Burton Cummings from the Guess Who, he's been going live on Facebook. Thing is, the big celebrities, Duncan, are doing it on Instagram. The big celebrities are doing it on Instagram, and they're making money off it somehow. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're making money off of it. Now, a lot of these fools got so much money that, come on, once you've made a couple $1,000,000 in the music industry, I think you can afford to weather out something like this. But, you hear about it all the time, and people that make millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they don't have access to it, or they lose it, or they blow it, or, they cry how poor they are. And it's like, wow, how does that happen? How does that happen? I mean, I've still got lunch money that I saved from elementary school in a piggy bank on my dresser. Don't tell me when you're making that kind of money, you can't save money. Hard to make money with local cover bands. Yeah, unless you get really good ones, you get exceptional ones. Well, Metal Rocker, at this point, the YouTube lessons are free, but if you can find somebody to actually be in the room with that can teach you what you want to learn, that's the way to go. Because you can't ask a video questions, and you can't ask a video, what am I doing wrong? Okay? If I'm teaching somebody, I'll be correcting their hand position. I'll be correcting their picking. I'll be correcting, and for what that's worth at my level, okay? I can get you somewhere close to my level. You want to get any better, you got to move on. You got to go somewhere else. But when you're watching a video of somebody who's sweep picking and they go, you go down like this and you come back like this. Yeah, it sounds simple, but there's a lot of different things to that. There's pick angle. There's pick thickness. There is wrist flexibility. There's so many different variables that they don't tell you. And you can't ask the video questions. I suppose you can ask a question in the comment, and then you're going to get, answers from people. But if you're one-on-one with somebody that you enjoy the way they play, if you look at somebody and you go, God damn, I wish I could play like him, that's the guy. that's the guy to go to get you to that level. We still live? Yeah, I Love America knows. YouTube is great. You can learn tons of stuff from YouTube. But usually what I get from YouTube is like the arrangement to the song. I need the words, I need the chords. I've got my technique. I know my technique is what it is. I'm not going to change it that much. Oh, absolutely, Bruce. Use one to complement the other. Absolutely. Because if I had YouTube when I was in my 20s, this has been a whole different game, man. I'd have been playing at a whole different level because I would have went right for the Van Halen stuff. I'd have probably skipped over the blues and jumped into that other stuff. And when I would run into guys that could play that kind of stuff, and they were in those kind of bands, and they were like in a Van Halen cover band, or they were playing stuff like Van Halen and any of that 80s rock, like Megadeth, Tesla, Dokken, any of that stuff, they were real standoffish about their guitar. They wanted to protect their secrets. Wow, how'd you do that? Well, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours uh, with this amazing guitar teacher that I paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and I suffered for years and years, and I learned to play Eruption. And and if you want to learn to play it, you're going to have to suffer and pay and study too. And they weren't they wouldn't. And the blues players, you'd go like, "Wow, how'd you play that?" And they'd go like this, man. And they'd get, "Come on, let's jam," and they'd get you jamming. They wanted you playing with them, it just seemed like the metal guys were they were really standoffish, and it was like their guitar playing was a secret, and that was before Yngwie. Eddie Van Halen was at the top. He was at the very top. There was Eddie Van Halen was up here, and then you had like Jimmy Page, who had been up there, and Jeff Beck, all dropped down into this other level down here. And then you had the stuff that was at the very bottom that was like, the punk rock and the Ramones that you could just learn and bang on the guitar and play bar chords and bang, And I was always into the pop thing. It was always Bob Seger, John Cougar, Jay Giles, Leonard Skinner, anything that was on FM pop radio. That's where we were getting our music. Tom Petty, Eddie Money, any of that stuff. That's where we were getting our music. And then the ones that come up under us a little bit were more into the Van Halen type stuff and the heavier 80s metal. And then, the Motley Crue and the Guns N' Roses. When Guns N' Roses came out, I hated them. I absolutely hated them. I thought they were I thought Motley Crue was the gayest looking bunch of MFers you ever saw. I just they disgusted me, and it took me a while. It took me a while to appreciate it. I had to sit back and look at it and like let go of some of my bias and look at it and really get into it. But yeah, I hated Guns N' Roses and mostly because I was always pitting Axl against Robert Plant, and I was always pitting Slash against Jimmy Page. And so I was like, well, they're just copying Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. That's all they're doing, and they'll never be that good. And then they went and sold 50 billion more records than those Led Zeppelin ever did. And it's like, oh. Uh, the when bands like the Scorpions, like I liked UFO, and I liked Michael Schenker, and I liked the early Scorpions. Like, what was that first Scorpion album I ever bought? I can picture the album cover, but I can't remember the name of the frickin' Scorpions album. But I love that stuff. And then the longer it went on and creeped into the 80s, things started to change. How you doing, Arboyle? Tesla, yeah, they were good. Absolutely. Then I remember a rash for a while of like religious metal, like Winger. Wasn't Winger like a heavy metal for Jesus band? There was a couple of them. Don't touch your face. But see, Tesla, Striper. It was Striper. Tesla was a band that I never envisioned. Well, Tesla, Striper, Winger, Dawkins, Megadeth, Metallica. Metallica was a big one. Metallica came out. I was like, I'm never going there. I'm never going to be able to play that stuff ever. It's not going to happen. You know? Yeah, Phil Keaggy was awesome. He passed harp. And I mean, he started in the 60s. Duncan, I never heard of any of them. You didn't miss. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to alienate anybody because a lot of people love that stuff. I was just a little bit too old for it. By the time Metallica came around, I was just starting to warm up to Van Halen because they had gotten rid of dipshit David Lee Roth and had Sammy Hagar in the band because I was a big Sammy Hagar fan. If it wasn't for Sammy Hagar, I would have never gave a rat's ass about Van Halen other than the guitar playing. I wasn't excited about the songwriting. I hated David Lee Roth. I thought he was a clown. And I didn't think he was that good of a singer. And they got Sammy Hagar in the band, and I was a huge Montrose fan. Rock Candy, Bad Motor Scooter, Rock This Nation. That was all Montrose. And Sammy Hagar was the singer in that band. And I know, man, you're getting old, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll stop playing when you can pry that guitar from my cold, dead hands. Oh, all right. Now I'm going to tell you something, Duncan. Herb Alpert. You go look this up. Herb Alpert is one of the biggest money makers in modern music. Number one, he was a producer. Number two, he was a club owner. Number three, he started. A stood for Alpert and M stood for the other one. He's in the top 5 or so richest son of a guns in music history. And I've still got, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Bat Brass, the Lonely Bull, and da 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 da. I can put that on and drive my wife absolutely nuts. I can run her right out of the house. If I want to be alone, I just put that in. She's heading for the door, man. She's out into the garden or wherever she's got to go. But, I grew up on that. My mother loved that stuff. And behind my left shoulder, PV. Yeah, that's the Falcon. This is a Super Strat. Uh, 1983, 1984. Made in USA. It's got the bilaminate hard rock maple neck with a popular body, solid popular body. And this might actually, one might be ash. I'm not sure. It's got them there 40-year-old Alnica 5 pick 'em ups, single coil, and the Kahler. They don't even. This is such an early Kahler that the model is Kahler. It doesn't even have a model number on it. I've got another one of these, a Red Falcon, that I replaced the original Kahler and put was called a Kahler Killer on it. That was backloaded. This backloads too, but it's different. The fine tuners are on the top. The one on the Killer fine tuners are on the back, more like a Floyd Rose. It's designed more like a Floyd Rose. But I actually think it's a better bridge than the Floyd Rose because you don't like have to cut the ball ends off and stick them down in there and tighten the thing on. You just string it through like you're supposed to, and it's got a hollow fine adjustment screw that the string goes in, and as you know, you adjust it, it either releases or builds tension on the string to tune it. And Super Strats need dumb fucker pickups, but it was just a really good design of a bridge, the Kahler Killer. And they don't make it anymore. And if you go look for them on eBay, used ones, people want $200, $250 for them. I sent a white one of these with the exact same bridge and locking nut on it, only it had a maple neck, and my other one's got a maple neck to Manchester, England. Max Bygraves, who the hell's that? Any Boyle, any American-made Peavey was a good guitar, especially for what you paid for it. They didn't get expensive. They didn't get outrageously expensive until they made the Wolfgang with Eddie Van Halen. And then Van Halen got pissed off and parted ways with them. And then Peavey strictly made the Hartley Peavey guitar, and everything else went to like Indonesia and China and whatever. Sorry for dissing Lawrence Welk. Oh well. See, Lawrence Welk, I had no choice. You know, my mom and dad watched that. I was a casualty of The View. You know, I was forced to watch it. I didn't have any choice. And then after that, American Bandstand came on, and they got up and left the room. You know, as a matter of fact, they hated American Bandstand and Soul Train so much that they got me my own TV and put it in my room. But you know, we're in a new age now. Where, you know, YouTube, social media. I wish somebody needs to do a website, whether it be Google or Facebook, whoever, that is a website that is strictly dedicated to nothing but live music. And they get advertisers to advertise just like YouTube does with videos. And you make an account, and they make it free so that you can sign up and you can make your account and build up your subscribers and do your performances. But I don't know if I would even like archive performances. Okay, each performance is going to be like a one-time only view. Now that might be a bad idea, because if you don't get any views, But if you can build up your audience and, do your advertising right and let people know and get the word out, whatever, and get them to tune into your stream, who knows? It might be a cool thing if it was just a site strictly for live performance. And I suppose, they could archive the performances and you could watch them for like 99 cents. You could watch them back. Or, this is a pretty good freaking idea if you ask me. And maybe I should just shut up because somebody's going to steal it. And then, I'm going to shoot myself in the head because I didn't do it or didn't pitch it to Mark Zuckerberg or, them people at Google. So, who knows? But, yeah, it is what it is. I think here in the United States, live performing, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get it back. You like that, huh? Mark Zuckerberg. My first guitar was it was a little plastic guitar with Roy Rogers on it and only had 4 strings. And I was 4 years old. The first acoustic guitar I got, I don't know what it was. It was a hand-me-down from my brother, and I was probably 8 years old. Then when I was 10 years old, I got his Egmond electric that looked like a odd shaped Stratocaster with a maple neck, and it had slide switches for the pickups. And I think it had 2 pickups. And it had slide switches for the pickups and a volume and a tone. It was called an Egmond. And the one thing I do remember about it is it did have a pearloid pickguard, which was kind of neat. And it was a sunburst finish. And then that guitar, I don't know where it went because when I was 11 or 12, I won a state championship in gymnastics. I won the gold medal in the all-around gymnastics here in Northeast Ohio, in the state of Ohio. And I had been asking for a new guitar, and my dad made a mistake and said, well, if you win like in the top 3, if you get gold, silver, or bronze, we'll buy you a new guitar. And I got the gold medal. And I was more excited about going to get that new guitar than I was for actually winning the tournament. And he laughed at that. He says, I never understood why that guitar meant so much to you. But I was a Beatle fanatic. I had to be Paul McCartney. Which is kind of weird that I didn't turn out to just be a bass player and singing songs because I wanted to be Paul McCartney so bad. I had to be Paul McCartney. And I think at some point I decided, I'd rather be John Lennon, and then I got a little bit older. But what about the dresses you had as hand-me-downs you were forced to wear? You've been looking at my old school pictures on Facebook? Man, I was the loudest kid in the class. Are you kidding me? I was wearing a Where's Waldo shirt. It was freaking hilarious, man. I was in first grade. It was 1967. And I still remember almost every kid in that class. I'm glad I didn't go Ringo. Well, then see, I always wanted to be Marty Robbins too, because I loved Marty Robbins' voice. So I always wanted to be able to sing cowboy songs like Marty Robbins. And my dad would put Roy Rogers stuff on and Gene Autry stuff, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's terrible! That's terrible! They don't sing like Marty. They can't sing it that way." Marty Robbins did a song called "The Strawberry Roan," and my dad played the original version for me one time that was Tex Ritter or somebody. And I was just like appalled. He's killing it. He's ruining the song. Oh, God. But Who knows? It's just where this whole thing is going to go. Like I said, I was literally going to go live tonight. I'm not doing it on Facebook because all my friends are over there on Facebook, and I just don't want to be another guy on Facebook. So I'll do it on YouTube, and I might throw a link over there. 9 times out of 10, nobody clicks on the link on Facebook to go to YouTube to watch me play. So I'll put the link over there anyway, but I'll do it on YouTube. And like I said, I was going to do it tonight, but during the president's press conference, I fell asleep on the couch after dinner. And when I woke up, Linda was already in her room playing her bass. And I said, I'm not going to set all that stuff up now. And I wasn't even going to do this. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, yeah, I'm really, really, really bored. There's nothing to watch. Everything on YouTube is news about this damn virus. I got to do something else. What was for dinner? Pork chops, fried potatoes, green beans, and applesauce. And then that really wasn't doing it for me. So afterwards, I ate the last slice of homemade pizza that Linda made last night. And then in a little while, I'll probably go make a ham sandwich. Maybe. There's some pepperoni rolls that she made along with the pizza last night. If there's any of those left, I might have one of them because those are pretty good. When she makes the pizza dough in the bread maker, you make the pizza and then there's always like a bunch of dough left over, and she'll make pepperoni rolls, which are really good, and put some cheese and some, marinara sauce in there, and that's pretty good. Sounds slamming. Well, she's an Italian. She's an Italian girl. As a matter of fact, she's like, her dad was Irish, her mom's Italian parents. Her grandparents literally came from Italy. So her mother is Italian. Her dad was Irish. Linda's half Italian, half Irish. She is like the kind of woman that could call her family and hit you in the head with a frying pan at the same time. I call her my little Dago Billy. Duncan, you think people are actually putting on weight in the lockdown? Are you kidding me? We're all going to be walking around with our pant buttons let me show you something. Let me show you something, wise guy. I don't want you to see my stomach, but I'll show you this, pal. This is how we're holding our pants together, buddy. You see that? And I ain't ashamed of it neither. I don't give a shit. I deserve it. Yeah, Kelly, that's Irish. Your first name wouldn't be Machine Gun, would it? Yeah, she's a keeper, all right. I've got so much invested, I can't afford to lose her. And I after Christmas, I ordered pants a size bigger. And for a couple of weeks, I was wearing them, and they were, it was just one pair of jeans. For a couple of weeks, I was wearing them, and then all of a sudden, like they started getting tight. I went to this other pair of jeans that I had from back when I was fat or fatter that fit. And she goes, "Why are you wearing those old jeans?" I go, "The only thing that fits me." She goes, "I just bought you a pair of jeans." So, all right, what size do you want? So I ordered another size bigger. And so I've got 3 pairs of pants that I can put on that don't have an issue. And the rest of them, I'm doing something like that. And then there's other ones that I can't even do that with. And they're only from a few years ago, from like 3 years ago. I went from a 30-inch waist to a 34-inch waist. You can't take a pair of 30-inch waist pants and squeeze them around the 34-inch waistline. You can't do it. It doesn't work. It's not going to happen. And if you put the hair tie in there, you've got a gap. You got a 4-inch gap up there where you can't even zip it up. So, you know, there's a Dana's Les Paul size coming soon. I don't get that, but E size. Les Paul E size coming soon. One size fits all, buddy. But you know, when the weather gets nicer, you're just gonna have to get outside and start moving around and walking. Here, I couldn't. My legs and everything hurt so bad I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk 50 feet without having to sit down and rest. It's not that bad now. I'm a lot. It's getting better. So, you know, hopefully when the weather warms up, exercise videos. I don't plank. Using LPs, yeah. Well, I've only got one Les Paul hanging up there. Yeah. There it is. There's my Les Paul. That's kind of a heavy sucker. But, all right, you guys. It's been an hour. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:15. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. All you all hang in there the best you can. You know, do what you can with it. It's got to end. It has to end. So all I can do is say, hey, be good to one another, and I'll catch you all later.